So, the people in Iran, they're hopping mad. They said his sin was unfortunately captured in a photograph. In strict Islamic law, people are not supposed to touch others of the opposite gender unless they are related or married. I guess the Iranian president got lost in his grief, they say, as he consoled Elena Fress. Yes, he did. And Ahmadinejad was also called out by some of his people for what he said in the eulogy. This is what he said, and I quote, "Chavez will come again along with Jesus Christ and Al-Iman al-Mahad to redeem mankind." He actually said that. They quoted him. So putting the populist Venezuelan president and ex-paratrooper in the ranks of holy figures did not go over very well. Some Shiites in Iran, religious figures, admonished the Iranian president to become better educated about his religion. They were hopping mad. Others urged Mr. Ahmadinejad not to make religious references for the rest of his campaign for re-election. So poor Mr. Ahmadinejad, he was just trying to comfort the mother of Hugo Chavez, and he is getting laced back home for it. Because the picture, of course, is on the internet, is everywhere. My goodness. Did you know that they would be so strict with the leader? You can't touch anyone unless you're related or married. That must be really difficult if you go to a funeral, though. Or if you go to a wedding. Or any kind of celebration. Don't Muslims go to those things? So you mean to tell me everybody has to stand up with their hands to their side and nobody can touch anyone? Unless you're married or you're related? Wow. You learn something new every day, don't you? And I certainly learned that today. I did not know that if you are a Muslim, you cannot touch someone of the opposite gender unless they're related to you or you're married to them. Can you imagine how much trouble I would be in if I went to a function with a lot of people who are Muslims? I wouldn't have known that. So you see, you learn something new every day. Wow. And another bit of news that you might want to know. Residents in the Falkland Islands. Remember the Falkland Islands? The British territory that Argentina is calling claim to? They voted to retain British rule 99.8%. Almost unanimous. They will stay on the British rule in a referendum amid winning global sympathy as Argentina intensifies its sovereignty claim. So Argentina is insisting that they own the Falkland Islands. But as long as I can remember, it's the British. The vote took place over a 2-day period. Falklanders do not want to become a colony of Argentina. That's what they said. But retain the status quo. They will continue to be called a British overseas territory. Could we ever have a 99.8% vote for anything in the United States? I really thought about that today. And wondered if we could. But I don't think we can. Because you see, between the Republicans and the Democrats and the Independents and the Libertarians and the Tea Party, we are splintered all over the place. Democracy? Tea Party? They don't want any government. So I wonder if you have no government, what would happen? The Tea Partiers would run the country? Maybe they would. Saw something very interesting here that I think I need to read for you about happiness. Money can buy happiness as long as you make over $50,000 a year. Woo! Oh my goodness, I thought that was so funny. So if you happen to make $50,000 a year, you can find happiness. The classic Beatles song says, "Money can't buy me love, but happiness may be another story." A new poll by the Marist Institute for Public Opinion suggests that the price tag for pure bliss can be as little as $50,000. An annual income of anything less, the survey shows, and people just aren't as satisfied with their lives. The previous tipping point was $75,000, according to a 2010 Princeton University study, which showed that people didn't get any happier once their income passed that threshold, which was $75,000. The new study doesn't contradict the 2010 figure, meaning you could still get happier if your income rises from $50,000 to $75,000. But it's still nice to see the base price go down in a few years. Who knows? Maybe $25,000 may be in luck. I thought that was very funny, and I thought I would, kind of share that with you. Next thing I'd like to share with you: sex and alcohol make you happier than kids and religion. That's what a new study found. Kids are said to fill our lives with poignancy and inexplicably joy. Yet it appears many parents would rather be tossing back some bourbon and rolling around in their skivvies than take care of their beloved offspring. A new study by Karsten Grimm from the University of Canterbury in New Zealand has found people rate sex as a top activity that brings them happiness. Did you hear me? Followed by drinking alcohol or partying. Caring for kids, they yawned and fell down the list at number 5. God also got the cold shoulder too, with people rating meditating and religion as number 4. Imagine that. That one, I think I need to digest that one some more and go over with you again with that one, because I thought it was so interesting. And how red wine could help you toast your 150th birthday. Again, they're coming back with that red wine thing. Scientists working for pharmaceutical company GlaxoSmithKline believe they've discovered the fabled fountain of youth. At the bottom of a bottle of Cab Sav, they've been testing synthetic versions of Reversatol. You know what that is. Okay, a chemical found in red wine. Now, and believe the drugs effectively slow aging. So I guess we need to run to the store and get us some red wine. But make sure it has resveratrol? Is that going to be on the bottle? I wonder. The 117 drugs trialed have shown promising results against a range of illnesses, including cancer, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, muscle wasting, cataracts, and skin conditions. How powerful this is. Yes, that's right, says the article. There's seemingly nothing the red wine can't do. So, I don't drink alcohol. What am I going to do? Do they have red wine without alcohol? I don't think so. We're finding that aging isn't the irreversible affliction that we thought it was. And this, of course, was said by the Harvard genetics professor David Sinclair. Some of us, he said, could live until we are 150 years old. Now, I would certainly like to live until I'm 150, as long as I'm doing well, I'm strong, I'm slim, and, I can do my daily ADLs and take care of myself and don't have to depend on anyone. But is that realistic? We have to go back to the Bible days when those guys were living long after 150. So 150 I'd like to do, but I'm going to try to find out if there's a red wine that has no alcohol in it. And then I will try that red wine. Is there any such red wine? Maybe you want to email me, text me, tweet me, and let me know if there is actually such a red wine. I'd love to know. Woohoo. Wow. Okay, have a few more stories here, but I'll just leave them for you for in the morning because it's time for me to go and time for me to remind you about a few things. I had a special guest on the program today. His name was Elder Will Seaton, and he's having an event along with his organization called KUSH, and that event takes place on March 20th. And it's going to be dubbed Blacks for Immigration Reform. You can give Elder Will Seaton a call. His number is 646-239-7847. Email address is kushunited, that's CUSH United @gmail.com. And they're asking everyone to come out and join them. There'll be 10 buses leaving on the 20th from New York. And of course, they'll have buses coming out of all the boroughs of New York. And don't forget that they're also dealing with other things, you know, like minimum wage and stuff like that, trying to go in numbers to Washington. So they'll be marching to Washington on the 20th. Blacks for Immigration Reform. He actually did something very good today. He talked about the fact that a lot of priests in the church are molesting and having sex. He called it sexploits. That's what he referred to it as, with the illegal immigrants, because the priests and the pastors know that they can't go tell anyone that they're being abused because they don't have any papers. He also explained something that was very good for me. He said undocumented immigrants are the immigrants who come and have no paper. So those who come on the boats and whatever else they come on, they have no paperwork, so they are undocumented. But the illegal immigrants are those who came here on legal status with their visas, but they overstayed their time for 10 years, 20 years, whatever. That's how he broke it down, and that is so good, and I thank him so much for that. And don't forget to join me tomorrow morning when Dax Dunn will be my special guest, and we will be Skyping him in. We know that that will work, and we just might get some other people to be brave enough to want to be on camera. Why are you all so afraid of the camera? Yeah, you cough a little bit sometimes if you talk too much like I do, but that's okay. It's okay to relax and enjoy life. Life is beautiful, meant to be enjoyed, and live a little. So, thank you once again for joining me. And don't forget, April 30th is International I Love Me Day. And that's a day that we will wallow in our loving ourselves, doing things for ourselves all around the world. Around the world and in the United States. And also, October 5, another day for you to circle on your calendar and save that date, because that is a date that you will be allowed to actually save a life through Save a Life Jamaica Foundation with Novelet Gale. We'll keep you posted as to what that event is about. I promise you it will be a nice event, and we look forward to seeing you there. And if you can't make it, you can contribute that $20 to the Save a Life Jamaica Foundation through their website. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Have a great evening. And if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Keep loving yourself, looking in the mirror. If you have to do it for 50 times to believe it, 100 times before you believe it, keep doing it. Because I promise you, when you love yourself, all things are possible when you believe in yourself. Thanks again for joining me, and ciao, au revoir, adios, and goodbye.